Good afternoon, y'all. This is the Redneck Kayak Angler coming to you again. I went out this morning for a few hours, did some kayak fishing. I was out there and realized that maybe these few items that I use to help minimize the chaos while kayak fishing might be helpful to y'all. So here I am. I'm going to do 3 products that help me kayak fish this morning and minimize the chaos out there, because everybody knows when you're out there on the kayak fishing, things get a little dicey. You got to deal with the wind. If you got a big fish on the line, you got to your kayak moves, you got your paddle, you got everything, measuring boards, things of that nature. It can get cluttered and it can create chaos when you're landing a fish. So, without further ado, we're going to get to a few of the items that I use today to help minimize the kayak chaos. So here we go. This is a simple rod or paddle leash that I use. It's inexpensive. I bought it from my outfitter store, Coyote Outfitters in Watkinsville, Georgia. And pretty much you kind of do this to it, and then you put your paddle in there, and it tightens down like a slip knot. And then let's say you catch a big biggin, and you got your paddle on your lap. You just throw that paddle. You don't have to worry about it because you can bring it back to the boat without any issue. So after I brought this fish up, I have multiples of these. I got one that's in the bag and one that's not, one that's on the board. But I have my measuring board. So what I do is I bring that fish up. I take this, and don't worry, this is sanitary. I take this. This is a donkey leash from Cal Coast Fishing. One of the best accessories I have purchased for kayak fishing, and as a tournament fisherman as well. So pretty much you kind of bring the fish in, you take the hook out of the mouth, kind of release this like that. So I'm going to do that again for you. That's fully. Then you take your thumb and you put it like this, and you put your fingers down here on those, push, and it opens up. So you take that fish off the hook, put that in there, kind of put it in its lip, and you go like that. See? Kind of difficult to get off sometimes. Sanitary. But you put this in the fish's mouth, tighten it all the way down. You can hear it click until it can't click no more. And then, guess what? This is attached to your kayak right here. And you just throw that fish off the kayak. What that does is it keeps that fish relaxed. It's not water deprived. It's not flopping around on the deck of your kayak while you're trying to put your gear away. So you're focused on trying to put your rod in the back or put your rod in the rod holder. Fish is flopping around everywhere. So you got one hand here, one hand there. Just chaos. So when you use this, you don't have to deal with that. And it also keeps that fish safe and relaxed. All right. So the next thing we got here, I also have one of these in a package, which I'm going to show you here. And I also have one on my measuring board. So when you're measuring that fish, you have to have your identifier tag if you're in a tournament. A lot of people write them on their hand. Sometimes your left hand is easiest. So when you're taking a picture with your right hand, let's say you got your phone right here, and you got your hand and you're holding that fish down, and you take your picture. Bam, took your picture. So here's what happens. You grab this, get you like some printer card, like photo card, Sharpie your Tourney on your identifier on there, and I'll take this out for you. And you slide it in there. It's a waterproof. It floats. So you slide your card in the little slot here. That's a Tourney tag. You zip it up. So now you got a waterproof. So even if that card does get a little wet, it won't cause any issues. And you can put it around your wrist like this. So when you're taking a picture, your identifier is on your wrist. Or like I do, I slip this on the end of my hog trough. So that when I'm taking a picture, I don't even have to have my wrist there. All I have to do is gently hold the fish. The Tourney tag is already there on the board, and I snap my photo. So you don't have to deal with moving around making sure you have a legible identifier written on your hand, because even Sharpies, when you write Sharpie on your hand, after you catch 4 or 5 fish, they're wet. So you're going to rub, then you're going to sweat, and you're going to rub. And by about 3 hours in, you've rubbed that identifier off. And you're like, holy mackerel. I don't have an identifier. And I just threw that fish back into the water. Oh crap. That 20-inch fish does not count, because that identifier is not legible. So these are just a few helpful accessories I use to minimize the chaos on the kayak. Believe you me, I have a whole lot more, and I will show you everything. But for now, that's what we're going to keep it with. These are very budget friendly and very effective accessories to minimize stress on the kayak. All right, thank y'all, and I'll see you soon.